Well, hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gamer Disclaimer with Mag and Wade. Of course, I am Mag. Beside me here is Wade. Wade, you're looking great as ever. How have you been, pal?
Oh, just peachy keen, jelly bean, living the dream. Not
Yes,
always rhyming, as maybe contrary to what I just said to you, but
it's
often
impressive.
rhyming, but not always rhyming.
There you go.
How are you?
So I am good. I wanted to address our audience for a sec. I do apologize for the mild lapse in video. My family was in town this last week, along with my baby being 6 weeks old tomorrow, and it has just been a very hectic uh, situation getting my schedule figured out. But finally got a few things worked out, and so update: we're gonna be releasing our videos on Monday mornings now instead of on Wednesday at midnight, just because that's not the best time because nobody's going to watch it at midnight. But also, I want everybody to have a good start to their week, and so I'm gonna release the episodes Monday morning going forward, and so that'll also give me a little bit more accountability to get my editing done. But shouldn't be as big of an issue. So like I said, I've kind of swapped a few things around to be able to get that straightened out. But I did want to apologize. I know some of y'all have been waiting for our content, which is crazy, and I'm thankful that there are people that are wondering where our show has been. Of course, we have not stopped per se. It's just been the release schedule has been a little bit wonky, so we'll get that straightened up, and it's on me. So it'll be taken care of. So just wanted to share that with y'all quick. So yeah, so it has been about
Meg, first, I have to say first,
okay.
when you have it post at midnight, that's like, you know, 7 or it's like 9 o'clock for me. I
This is
could I
true.
could watch that.
Yes, you could. All of our West Coast audience could watch that. Yes,
West Coast,
West
best coast.
represent. Um, so it has been a little while since we've actually recorded a show. We usually record on Wednesdays, but where my family was in town, we're recording a few days after that. So I haven't talked to Wade in a while. So I have no clue what you've been playing. I have no clue how you've been doing, which sounds like everything's peachy keen. But tell me about what games you have been playing in this last week and a half.
Oh, well, first I have to give cat update because that's important to some people for some reason. So one of our cats, he is a black cat. We call him Jack, but his full Christian name is Jack O'Lantern. And he had a weird little mass on his right hip and also a weird mass on his ear as well. So the poor guy had the mass removed, as well as now he has like a Swiss cheese ear with a chunk out of it. And he seems to have like picked up an ear infection on the back of it. So now he's on all kinds of I don't know who's got two thumbs and isn't a doctor. This guy right here, but he's not crazy about his meds. They're kind of killing his appetite, so we've been having a go of it. But he will recover. He will get there. It's just a matter of when it finally happens. But in the middle of trying to get the cat to eat, you know what I've been playing, Mag. I've been playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33 on
Yes.
Game Pass.
How has that been for you?
It has been a good time. I think I'm like midway through Act 1. I just picked up my fourth party member and I got what the internet basically told me was like make sure you don't miss this thing early in the game, and now I have that, and now I can kind of just go off the beaten path, and I can just do whatever it is that I want now that I've made sure to address this one critical thing. I think everybody else, everything else you're probably okay. And also it's a really good weapon, I guess. You have to use a certain character in a tournament to make sure that you get it. And if you hadn't got it there, you can get it much later in the game, but it's super useful early in the game. That's all there is about it. I am not big into RPGs. I This is a JRPG style game made by French developers, so I guess it's an FRPG, right? That's how it is. Um, It's been really enjoyable so far. I probably wouldn't have checked it out aside from A, it being on Game Pass, and B, just everybody blowing up with, highest Metacritic score of the year for sure. Everybody's like, oh, Game of the Year talk and all that stuff. I tried to give Blueprints a fair shake and wasn't really feeling it, also on Game Pass. So I'm putting a lot more time into Clair Obscur, and I hope to continue pushing through. It's a good time.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard good things. I also happened to draft it as my new game franchise in our Fantasy Critics League, and it does have the highest score, 92 points or 92 score, so it's 23 points, which is quite a bit in our fantasy game league. Which maybe one episode we'll go through all of our picks or something, since that's a fun thing. But yeah, I am also interested in maybe trying it out. I'm not an RPG guy. I'm not a turn-based combat guy. I played a little bit of Persona 5, and it kind of gives me similar vibes to that. But after about 2 hours, I was just kind of like, oh, this game's 100 hours to complete, and that seems really daunting, especially like since I have 2 hours a night, if even that to game. But Claire's says 35 hours-ish to complete, potentially, and that seems a little bit more approachable, so we'll see. But, yeah, sweet. Well, that's good. I'm glad you've been playing those games, Wade.
Yeah.
Well, since you asked, I'll tell you about the games that I've been playing.
Oh, I figured you weren't playing any games. I thought you already said that you weren't.
Well, it's been a little while, so we haven't recorded a show in a little while. So, I have since beat and ordered a physical copy that I have in front of me of the Doki Doki Literature Club. I have avoided spoilers for this game, and I'm very glad that I did, and played through it about a week and a half ago. And
That's why I didn't know, because I thought that you would have mentioned it on the last show.
yes,
But
so I have
my
started it and
timetable's
beat
so wonky.
it in about 2 days, and it is awesome. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's unique, and that's I feel like I've learned, or I'm starting to drift towards really liking unique games and games that are a little bit different, which is why I'm kind of interested in Claire, because it's got like a really cool, different kind of combat system. But I'm not huge into visual novels, but also I like games with really deep lore. And so after you finish the game, there are hours and hours of videos that you can watch and things. And then, yes, I took a break because mom and dad were here, and Amy and Travis and June were here. And so I did play a little bit of the new Fortnite season, which is all Star Wars blasters for weapons, and I did not really enjoy it that much. And I did play a little bit of Marvel Rivals last night. Lost every game, but it was cool to be back on that. So, yeah, just played a little bit. I'm going to probably play some tonight after we record a little bit. But yeah, just kind of getting into the groove now. Of baby and what life looks like, without post visitors, and kind of getting ready to ramp up into summer. So, yeah. So that's what I've been playing. Doki Doki, it's free on Steam. It's pretty cool. All right. So, thanks to Wade's patience. We have a few topics that we have kind of in the pipeline, but we kind of want to do a little bit more prep on them potentially, and so I just thought it'd be fun as kind of like a get back episode, which we'll have one releasing, here pretty soon, and 2 in a row, sort of. But I thought it'd be fun to do like a grab bag of just short answer questions, just kind of just random stuff, and not super long discussions, but just a bunch of different topics. And so I just put together a bunch of questions for us, and if we'll just go till we hit a certain point, and if we get through all of them, great. If we don't get through all of them, we can just cover them later.
Is this like pardon the interruption, like mail call?
It is that was my inspiration. Mail time, they open up the letter, and it's funny you say that because I grew up watching that show, and so that was the inspiration. So good call out. We didn't talk about that before.
Same wavelength.
Yes, that's why we have a show together. So great. Well, I did email you or I texted you the questions, but I can read them off to start. And so, first question I've just put down for us is, who is your favorite streamer or streamers to watch?
I can lead off unless you want to go back and forth and alternate. I believe I have 3 that I like.
Okay. Please.
So I don't watch a lot of streamers on Twitch. I watch the Twitch VODs, or I guess like the Twitch clips that they then put on YouTube is where I end up catching a lot of these things.
Okay.
One streamer that I really enjoy, like a true video game streamer sort of thing, is your pal Vinny Vinesauce. I don't know if you're familiar with Vinny.
Mm-mm.
No? Okay, very good. I feel like I found Vinny back in the day through like one of his chat members just like tortured him into playing Devil May Cry 2, which I thought was very funny at the time. He used to do a lot of corruptions, so like graphical glitches and things going crazy in games. Also, as a video game streamer, his superpower is somehow just like forcing glitches to happen. Like it happens a ridiculous amount of time while he's on stream playing these things. A second streamer that I really enjoy, or sorry, last thing about Vinny, he somehow is like breaking the norm that he rarely, if ever, has a face cam on, but he does enough commentary over the top that it's good stuff. I also really enjoy, and I know that you've absolutely listened to this gentleman before, Coney,
Mm-hmm.
who at one point in time was a Super Smash Brothers Brawl player. He mained King DDD. Then he became a Smash commentator for competitive Smash events. The first thing that I ever saw of Coney's was a tier list of Super Smash Brothers characters ranked by number of teeth, and it was far more complicated than you would think that it would be. It was very entertaining. The last one I found through Yu-Gi-Oh, but I feel like he spends most of his time in just chatting these days, and that is MBT, which I think stands for Mono Bluetron. Every week he does a good job of compiling a number of he puts it gets pushed onto YouTube, so it's a segment called like Twitter Freaks, and it's just a compilation of banana pants tweets that people have put out, as well as the ads that X pushes to him, which are always very, very hilarious.
Yeah, I've never.
That is my streaming content that I consume.
I have not heard of. I've heard of Coney, but I haven't heard of the other two. So, cool.
I'll try to find some choice clips to send your way.
So shout out to those streamers. Check them out. You forgot obviously the most important one, Sweat Slayer NM. Just saying, you are a mod.
I hear he's on a hiatus.
You are a mod for that streamer, but yeah, he's on a little bit of a break. So for me, I don't spend a ton of time watching streams. I keep a stream on at work usually. And lately I've been watching Team the Tapman and Ninja, so pretty mainstream guys, because they're usually playing Marvel Rivals. But I watch them with the sound off, just because I'm at work, and I just kind of have it on in the background. Another guy is Cadril, probably one of the biggest streamers in the world. He does have a team called Los Ratones, and they're competing in League of Legends in the English League, and they're kind of revolutionizing League of Legends streaming, because they are streaming all of their scrimmages, they're streaming all of their games with in-game comms, so you can actually hear what the teams are saying. And so that's why I really enjoy watching the stream, is because like you have the main broadcast and you hear the commentators, but as a former esports coach and just a coach in general of a lot of different things, I spent 12 years of my life coaching track, tennis, volleyball, esports. But the esports, I'm really like low-key obsessed with esports comms at a professional level, and I just love listening to the team, because like I said, like they are giving you full access in their like tournament matches of what their comms are, and how they're communicating with each other. And like to me, like I could sit and listen to that stuff all day and like learn from it. So I really enjoy watching those streams as well. And then there's one other streamer that I watch. It is a streamer named Cupic, Cupic, Cupic. And Cupic is a League of Legends streamer. I think Cupic's a VTuber, so nobody actually knows what Cupic looks like. They have like a little anime character thing. But Cupic is like one of the top ranked League of Legends players in the world, and is one of the best Seraphine players in the world, which is my favorite League of Legends character. And so I enjoy watching Cupic's streams because it's, I can learn a lot from watching Cupic play Seraphine into things that they are doing in their games. Even though I haven't really played League in a while, I'm kind of on a League break as well. But yeah, nobody like no like niche streamers for me. I just kind of watch a lot of the popular people just based on the games that I'm playing. So there you go.
Your comments made me think of two things. One was how I wanted to, when we started this show, for us to be VTubers. I think this show would be greatly improved by us being VTubers. Would be the best.
Come on, man.
Maybe someday. Maybe someday. We'll see.
Maybe
and
someday.
then it's I like that you checked out a particular stream or streamer so that you could hear those open comms, because there's nothing quite as fun, or it's nothing quite as satisfying as listening to a crispy call out. Like, I remember back in the day watching like in Destiny, like Trials of Osiris runs, and this one guy was just spitting out information to his one remaining teammate, like the last Guardian standing, like it's a 1v3, like he was an air traffic controller or something. Like, it was just the most concise and accurate and detailed information delivered in a way that was going to be easily digestible in a high stress scenario.
Yeah.
Crispy callouts.
I love it. I'm all about it. So, all right, cool. So I'll start off the next one. So I just put simply dogs or cats. So not video game related. I am 100% team cats. Sorry to all my dog lovers out there. I do see the value in dogs, but I've always loved cats. And so I have two cats, Molly and Lola. Molly is 12 and is my dog cat, basically. Which is funny. You say, well, if you like cats more than dogs, why do you have a dog cat? Basically, she acts like a dog, but she's a cat. And Lola is just kind of like your typical cat. But cats are just a lot easier to take care of, in my opinion. They're a lot less maintenance. Like, you change their litter and you give them food, and they're pretty much good. Whereas dogs, you have to like work your entire schedule around them. If you go on vacation, you have to like take them with you, or you have to like I don't know. There's just a lot of other things. But my other thing with dogs, and I'm not trying to be a dog hater here, I really like dogs that are well-mannered. Like, if you have a dog and it's respectful, it's like, I have no problem with the dog. Okay? But nothing drives me more crazy. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves in the entire world than people who assume that everybody just loves their dog. And what I mean by that is, like, if I'm out for a stroll and I walk past you and your dog jumps up on me without me even signaling that I want that, and then the owner's just being like, oh, she just likes you. It's like, well, that's great, but I don't want your dog jumping on me. And we have had a few situations where we've had dogs knock over Harrison, and now he is terrified of dogs because his balance is not great because he has cerebral palsy. And so that's why I say, like, if you have a well-mannered dog, I'll be happy to go up and pet it, and like give it some love in. But people who just assume that like everybody loves their dog and then they just like let them misbehave and behave poorly and then just excuse it of thinking that people like that drives me nuts. So cats, they don't really do that as much. They might jump on your lap, but like a lot of times, like with my cats, I like ask them, do you want my cat to be around you? And if they're like, yes, then I'm like, okay. So, all right, that's my semi rant. Go. I'm team cats.
Have you heard before where the question is, does your dog bite? And the answer should always be, well, he's got teeth, doesn't he?
It's true.
Of course.
Of course. It's not even the biting. It's just the jumping. Or like the licking. Like, I get hives if a dog licks me. And it's like, thank you. Now my arm is all broken out in hives because your dog licked me.
Goodness gracious.
All right. Tell us, Wade.
Yeah, I mean, 5 words. Cats. Or what is it here? Yeah, 5 words. I was just counting this out on my fingers below the camera. Cat poops in a box.
This is true.
That's why they're the best. Team Cat. I am not apologetic for dog lovers. They can have their dogs if they want, but Cat is just so low maintenance, and they take care of themselves, except when they have nonsensical surgeries and then require you to sit on the ground with them to make sure that they're eating their food. But normally, the other 99% of the time, we're in good shape. There's 3 cats running around this house. I didn't know how old Molly was, but we have Mia, who I believe is 1 year older than Molly.
Mm.
Mia's gonna make it to 20. Mark my words. No problem.
It could
Easy.
happen. I have seen a 24-year-old cat. For those of you who are wondering why I say that, I'm in the pet cremation business, and I have seen some old animals come through our doors. I'm hoping Molly makes it to 20, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
So yeah, Mia's our grandma, and then I previously mentioned Jack O'Lantern, the black cat. He is, I think, around 5. And then we have Han, who recently has gotten the nickname Hurricane Han because he leaves nothing in his path of destruction when it comes to any food that is left out around the house. So
Nice.
when we feed all of the cats, if Mia and Jack do not finish their food, Hurricane Han comes through and destroys everything in his path.
Cool. So we're both team cats. Dog
Cats,
lovers
cats,
out
cats.
there, we don't hate dogs. We just like cats more. All right, Wade. Pick one set to play for the rest of your life. Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii and back. Or Xbox One, PS4, Wii U slash Switch, and forward. That includes all the new systems that will be coming out in our lifetime.
I mean, there's a right answer.
Okay.
Well, if you're
Is
locking
there?
yourselves in, if you're locking yourselves, okay, it's just finite versus infinite. That's the problem with this question. Is that if I'm locking myself to only things that came out before that time, I am not playing anything new. Also, what if something that came out on those systems is re-released on the newer systems, or does that not happen in this hypothetical scenario that you've concocted?
They can happen.
They can.
They can.
Oh well, then obviously we're going back to the future, man. Only facing forward.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. If it was like, thing is though, is like, I'm 33. Let's say I'm like live till I'm 73, and I'm still gaming for the next 40 years. At 6 years a console, I'm getting 6 more consoles. Right?
Yep.
Maybe, and that's if they even keep making consoles. It might just be a computer. So, all right, I think you're probably
think-
right though.
It might have been a like, and I know that you just pulled these questions out of here. Like, there might be more of a debate and conversation if it was a particular generation or something like that. It's like, what are the boys on Twitter? What do they do? It's like keep one, kill one kind of thing. Or it's
Yeah.
like, you can only have one or the other. Like, Xbox 360 versus PS3, you can only have one of those libraries or something like that. But maybe a conversation for another day. But yeah, like, you can't discount the things that might be coming in the future as much as we do. Well, I know that I do, like revisiting older games.
Yeah, I think that would be sad. But if I could find a way to like play the old libraries on like the Switch, then you kind of have the best of both. All right, Wade. Are battle royales dead?
No, I think battle royales are just fine.
Yeah. So
I mean, I know dangerously little about battle royales, but people are playing them. I will say that it seems like if you are not already an existing battle royale, you are dead on arrival. Is that a fair statement to make?
yeah, I would say that they are. I don't think that they're dead, but I definitely say that they are past their prime.
Oh.
And
Do
so
you think that extraction shooters are eating some of their lunch, or where is this coming from?
I don't know. So, like, if Fortnite was good enough just with the battle royale, then they wouldn't have to come out with all their other stuff, right? And like PUBG still has a pretty solid player base. It's kind of plateaued, but like Apex Legends is slowly dying, in my opinion. And stats would prove that the player bases are down. Fall Guys is battle royale. Its player base is steady but down. Fortnite, I mean, you could say, well, look at Fortnite, but the amount of people that are playing the battle royale games are still a pretty solid amount. And I would say that I think Fortnite is probably the best, most thriving, but they have so many other things, and they keep making more things to pull their player bases in different directions, that it's almost like they're pulling a little bit away from the battle royale scene. And like Warzone just had it's funny, right? So Warzone has been kind of struggling because there's so many cheaters and hackers and stuff in the game, and they don't address the issues. And so they brought back Verdansk, which is like their original Warzone map. And then everybody was like, oh my gosh, we're coming back to Verdansk. This is going to be great. And then like it had a spike. But it's like they keep, and like Fortnite did an OG season. And like they keep coming back to like their old stuff. And so that to me hints at, hey, people aren't liking what we're doing right now. And so, and I think the other thing too, and like, you know, maybe this is a topic for another day, but like there's only so much you can do with battle royales. Like it's just, there's X amount of players, there's a big map, it gets smaller, and you try to fight to be the last one. And I think that is a winning formula for people who like are competitive, like myself. But there's not a whole lot of, in my opinion, like innovation to what you can do with that said. Like it's still like at its core the same, and I think that core has like peaked and is slowly declining, and that's why you're seeing other genres like extraction shooters and, you know, other things coming back. I mean, look at like arena shooters like Halo, right? That was like the style of game for shooters for a long time, and then until it wasn't, and battle royales took over. And so I'm curious to see what the next thing is that will kind of take over. Maybe it is extraction. You know, who knows what it is, but I don't think that they're dead, but I think that they're like in their 50s. Like they're past their prime, they've lived through their glory years, and they're slowly declining.
It's interesting that at the top of the call, you said that Fortnite has got a Star Wars season going on right now where it's all blasters. I feel like that is an interesting thing to do in a battle royale, especially when you know going into it, well, it's only going to be this way for 2 weeks or whatever it is, like a timed event kind of situation, where it gives you the opportunity to do it for a little bit, and then, well, guess what? It's going to be something new around the corner. Also, again, do not play Fortnite at all, but I always viewed the additional things that they were adding into Fortnite as a gateway to get people into the battle royale at some other point in time, not as a watershed of people who had played the battle royale and fallen off, and this was just a way to get them back in there. But I could be completely wrong. That's just the thought that I had about it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I'm sure there's data to support either one of those. All right. We got 3 more questions. We're doing pretty decent for time. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
It's vanilla, Mag.
Really?
Well, you can put anything that you want on vanilla ice cream.
That's true. It's not my favorite. I would say that my favorite ice cream is chocolate. Just plain chocolate ice cream. And my second favorite is cookies and cream, which is vanilla with Oreos.
I see. I mean, I do like a Neapolitan, too, which is...
I've never tried Neapolitan ice cream in my life.
What?
Can you believe
that? You've tried
1/3
of it. You've tried 1/3 of it.
I've tried 2/3 of it, right? Chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah.
So, nope. So it's just vanilla for you? Like, if you could choose any ice cream, you would just pick a vanilla ice cream?
Growing up, I did not grow up poor, but the only ice cream that we ever had in the house was vanilla ice cream. That was ice cream to me growing up.
Yeah.
And maybe we'd use the vanilla ice cream, have a root beer float. We'd use the vanilla ice cream, throw a little strawberry sauce on there, throw a little chocolate sauce on there, you know?
So it's not the best solo, but because of its flexibility and what you can do with it, it's your favorite.
The jack of all trades, baby.
Well, chocolate is my favorite. I just love chocolate. It's very good.
I will say there's what is it? A couple of the Ben and Jerry's flavors I do enjoy. I think there's two, the late night flavored ones, the Jimmy Fallon one, which is I don't even know what the heck it is. The Tonight Dough. I don't know how to pull that in my head, but
Ooh,
that's what it's called.
nice.
And Stephen Colbert has the Americone Dream, which is also quite enjoyable.
Nice. I was a fan of the chocolate brownie one that Ben and Jerry's has. It's pretty good.
Too much chocolate.
Never. All right.
Too much.
Two more questions. Back to Fortnite. Is Fortnite overrated or underrated? Or appropriately rated?
Appropriately rated. No further comment.
Really?
I don't know anything about Fortnite. I don't want to speak on it.
But just in general, like, do you think, like, you hear, like, Fortnite, like, are you like, oh, that's overrated? Or are you like,
Oh, I feel like that. I mean, as far as a free-to-play game is concerned, there are a lot of people. I spend a fair amount of time looking on the OfferUp and the Facebook Marketplace, and the number of people who will sell like a PS5 or an Xbox on there and say doesn't come with any games, but you could download Fortnite is unbelievable.
yeah. I would say, in my opinion, that it is, it's underrated. I think
Wow.
I think
Elaborate.
underrated slash underappreciated. I think there are a lot of people that are just like haters because it's cool to hate it, but have never actually played it.
Well, they hate it. I'm gonna butcher this phrase because I'm extremely white, but they hate us because they ain't us. You know, that's just how that goes right there. Everybody wants to be Fortnite. You cannot dispute that fact. If every game company could make a game that was Fortnite, they would. It would already be done.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I just so many people I talk to, I'm like, hey, like you should try Fortnite, and they're like, oh, Fortnite, I don't know, that's a dumb kids game, or oh, Fortnite, that game's dumb, or like, but they've never actually played it, and it's just like, and then they actually play it, and they're like, oh, this isn't that bad. Like I thought this was gonna be like a kids game because it's cartoony, and I just think like too, like they're basically creating their own metaverse within their game, and like they're innovators when it comes to that, and so like. I think that it's really easy to just dog it because it's Fortnite. But in reality, if you look at the totality of the things that they have done and how innovative that game has been, like I think it's criminally underrated. Even though like right now, like I'm not playing it because I am not enjoying the Star Wars stuff. The fact that like Fortnite made cross-platform a thing. Fortnite created the Battle Pass system, which you could say ruined video gaming, but maybe not. Like, they have done a lot of things that have been pretty stinking innovative, and so that's why I'd have it as underrated.
I'm gonna do some research after the call to find out if Fortnite really was the first battle pass.
I'm pretty sure it is.
What was the first loot box?
Uh,
Was it
I
Overwatch?
I don't know. I don't
Me
know.
neither.
We'll have to look it up.
Curious if somebody's done the research. Yeah.
All right, last one. We're doing good on time. We're at like 32 minutes, which will be a smidge over, but whatever. What are your thoughts on the Xbox company raising their prices? Not just a
The
small,
Xbox company is Microsoft.
not just a small increase, but like a significant increase to their non-updated hardware. Like the Xbox that you could buy for $300 is now going to be the same exact Xbox will now be like what 80 more dollars, even though like
80 on the like lowest priced SKU. I think it's even more of a price disparity, or even more of a price increase for some of the higher ones. So
yeah.
maybe like a percentage or something.
So what do you
like that.
think about that? Is that directly and then games are going to be $80 first party games? Is that directly because of the Switch 2 or tariffs, or like what do you think, just your thoughts on that whole situation?
Remember at like the start of the at some point in time in the pandemic when like new cars weren't able to be rolled off the assembly line, so then old cars, used cars suddenly skyrocketed in value for trade-ins that you could be offering these things. I find it extremely unusual that this console that I own has just appreciated in value, that now it's worth more than what I purchased it for. That is not something that you expect to happen out of a product that you can still buy new. Like, prices don't go up on these things. I'm trying to remember if I think Sony might have previously quietly raised the prices of the DualShock controller, the DualSense maybe, whatever the PS5 controller is. But like that was just the controller. This is a topic that I feel like a lot of information comes washing over when it comes to these things, but like consoles for the longest time were sold at a loss because you would make that up in the software that you sell to people. But maybe with the rise of like free to play games and everything else that's coming around, that was no longer a viable business proposition to be selling these consoles at a loss. I, as soon as the news came out, made a lap to some local retailers to see if they still had anything that they were slow on the uptick to get the price changed, because I would kind of like to have. I feel like I have an obnoxious amount of physical Xbox One and Xbox Series X games, and I'm like scared that the disk drive is going to die out on my Xbox at some point in time, and then I won't be able to read these things, like that would be terrible. So I thought about like just getting a backup console, not with the intention of like, trying to hoard them and then flip them, because I don't know how effective that would be. Not that everybody's really clamoring to get an Xbox these days, but yeah, I feel like Nintendo might have been the canary in the coal mine, or they threw the first stone and now the rest of them are bound to follow. I would not be surprised if Sony and the PlayStation follow suit, because they already wasn't it kind of surprising that their newest PS5 model, was it a little slimmer maybe, but the price did not really come down. I think it was still the same price.
Yep.
And then the digital version with the disc drive sold separately and all of that stuff. Like, it was kind of a cost-cutting measure for them to make you buy the disc drive piecemeal in that situation, if that was something that you really wanted. I mean, I don't like it. I'm not in dire straits financially, but I don't enjoy spending more money than I've been accustomed to spending.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because, like, yeah, I'm curious to see what Sony's going to do. But also, like, we were talking about it in our group chat, but, like, with this price of the Switch 2, like, it's sold out. The pre-order sold out in minutes. So it's like, people obviously were, like, ticked about it and complained about it, but it didn't stop them from buying it. So it's like, at what point is it too much? Because I guess it's not yet. But it is interesting to me. So the PS5 Pro was $700, and everybody was losing their mind about that price. But now, like, the tricked out Xbox is what, like 600 or 600 plus or something? Like, it's a lot. And it's interesting. The thing that baffles me the most about this with Xbox is that, like, the Xboxes weren't selling well to begin with. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me why they would increase their prices to more than what their competition is selling for when they're already struggling and basically in third place in the market anyway. It's like, oh, we have a bad product, and now we're gonna make it even more expensive. It's like, doesn't make.
Remember the recent marketing campaign of everything is an Xbox, so why would I buy this more expensive thing? Like, are they trying to drive people to not these consoles?
Well, yeah. So then, like, are they rushing production on their next one? Like, to me, this doesn't make any sense. And if you could, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it was the tariffs, fine. If it was Nintendo's doing it, so we can charge more, okay. But it's like, you're already struggling. So, I don't know. My last final thought on this is, like, because these consoles are getting so expensive, if I am a gamer growing up now in this generation of people, so I am not, right? Because when I was growing up, game consoles were not that expensive. Like, a GameCube was what, like $150? Xboxes were like $200. And so, like, I was always interested in buying a PC and PC gaming, but the price point was like too unapproachable, right? But like if I go to Sam's Club now, I can get a solid computer that is comparable to what the systems are or better, right? And it's like $1,000. So it's like in the past, it's like, is it really worth 5 Xboxes to buy a computer? Or however much it was. But now, if I'm having to pay $700 for a PS5 Pro or PS6 or whatever it ends up being, and then $80 for games and $90 for controllers, suddenly, like, a computer is a little bit less scary in terms of the price point. I mean, you still do have to buy a monitor, a mouse, a keyboard, and all that stuff. But it's just an interesting thought. So...
This is not an economist podcast, but it's a weird time with the pricing of everything. I would mention that, like, when we're talking about how things were back in the day, where I mean, I'm pretty sure I bought a GameCube for $100 or something like that. Like, it was a silly low price. The prices would have to be adjusted for inflation to reflect where they're at today, and they haven't been keeping up with that, and we've kind of been spoiled with that for as long as we have. It is what it is. It's a complicated decision that I'm sure was not made lightly, but we can still be very confused as to why they did it. If the explanation that they provide, I'm sure, is just something like, it's just due to changing economic conditions. We're doing this. Like, they must know something we don't know, or it's too big of a hit for them to continue to take producing these things that aren't selling. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It baffles me. When I saw that, I was like, this makes no sense.
We can be baffled,
Also, shout out to Wade and I wearing the same shirt unplanned, just different colors. So that's fun. All right. So let's do our achievement of the week and our song of the week and get out of here.
The achievement of the week is from Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I believe this is one of like the early missable achievements where if you didn't get it, you'd have to start a new game, but you can get it in like the prologue, so it's not that big of a deal. It is called A Peculiar Encounter, and it is for defeating the mime in Lumiere.
Interesting.
So there's a mime. It's creepy because the game's French, He's wearing his little French outfit. You also encounter a number of mimes out in the overworld, and they'll just like chase you, and it's terrifying.
Interesting.
It's unpleasant. I don't particularly care for mimes. Oh, also the way that the fights work with the mimes, which is very entertaining, is that a mime will build an imaginary wall in front of them that you have to chip through before you can actually do any damage to the mime.
Huh.
It's a very mime-like activity.
You're making me want to get this game.
A Peculiar Encounter in Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
33. Cool. Check it out. It's on sale right now on CD Keys for $35, or if you have Game Pass, it's free. So,
it's
all right. It's included. You get to rent a license to play the game. So, yes.
Yep.
All right, Song of the Week is coming from one of my favorite games. I always say that, but it's just one that I like. But interestingly enough, it is regarded as one of the hardest Mega Man games of all the Mega Man games. Do you know which game it is, Wade?
Mega Man 9.
Mega Man 9, which that is the only Mega Man game that I have actually beat in its entirety. And so I do feel like a little bit of a cool guy because I have beat that game. But there are a number of great songs in that game. It has probably one of my favorite Mega Man OSTs of all time. But there is a level that is my favorite song. I like a bunch of them, but it is a great opener to the game and everything that is going on, and that is Concrete Man's stage. And the reason I love the song is because there is an 8-bit drum part that starts off the song. And so you'll get to hear it when we hop off the episode, but it is a cool just little like intro to the game. Like you think of like, clacking the sticks together, but it's just like a little drum solo that leads into this crazy and then you're into the level and you just are feeling super cool. And it kind of has like a syncopated melody that's like just got a lot going on, and it's just really cool. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But that's it. Wade, I'm going to let you do the send-off today.
This has been Gamer Disclaimer with Meg and Wade. We thank you so much if you made it this far for checking it out. If you liked our weird little mailbag sort of thing, feel free to throw some questions in the comments.
Yes.
Maybe somewhere down the road, we'll get them checked out. And I think that is it. Until the next one, peace out.
Bye.